Welcome back. This is the third and final part of working with strings. Let's now learn about one of the most powerful string methods, which is a split. So split allows us to split a string into multiple parts based on a divider string. So let's check that out. Write console.log. Here give the string a plus very plus nice plus string, a very nice string. So now on this string split, let's use here plus. Here it will split the string by this plus sign and will then store the results into elements of a new array. And now let's see the result. We get an array which contains a very nice string. All of this string what we have given here is essentially everything splits up by this divider string. Now let's take a look for another example. Same split console.log, giving a name. I'm giving Priya Sharma, and then dot split. And now here we need to split two elements. So for that we have here space. So that's why here we need to give space. Let's give a space and then take a look here. Let's see the result. See here we have now two elements. Now let's use the destructuring to create variables. So for that let's write const and then give here the first name and then the last name, and then give here the result of the split, that is this one. Copy and then paste here. And so this here we will create an array with the two elements, and the first one is going to be the first name and the second one is the last name. We could have done the same thing with a slice method, but that would have been a lot more complicated, and for no longer sentences almost done, and like this it's really straightforward. Now let's say that we want to make the last name uppercase. So for that we also want to add a miss before the name. So for that we could just use a simple template literal and do what I just said, but I'm going to show you something different. That's a join method, which is essentially the opposite of split. Now let's create an array. First, before the name, I need miss. So for that, write here miss. And then the first name. And then we need the last name uppercase. So for that, let's write last name dot uppercase. Uppercase method. And now we are done with this, and I want to join all these. So for that reason, write dot join and then give a space. By giving the spaces, I want to join all these. So for that reason, we need to write this, and let's write here const. I'm storing all these in a new name, and then console.log new name. Let's reload. New name is not defined. Give capital, and then let's see the result. See here we have the result, that is Miss Priya Sharma, what we have given the name, and here it added Miss at the before the name and also the first name, that is Priya, and then Sharma we want that in uppercase, so that also done here, and then all are joined with a space. Here we have a space and then we have space. So with this here we get one entire string. So one string composed of the three parts of this array. and joined together by this joining string here. Basically, if I use here anything else instead of space, I'm giving here this one. So let's see, we get like this. If I give underscore, we get like this. And if I give dot, we get like this dot. So let's create a space here. So here the combination of a split and a join is very useful. So this is for the split and join. Split and join. Now we can use this in anything that we did in previous lectures, which is to capitalize the name like that. I'm showing you an example. Const giving pass to. Let's give the names here. I'm giving here Priya, Maya, Setu, Jenny. And now how we will capitalize this name here. So further, let's create a function. Let's write here const capitalize name, that is equal function, then give name. Now here let's replace this with and then again give this. Let's write one more here and then give the name John Wish. Now here what I want is I need only the first letter of each of the name to be a capital. So we will have to capitalize all of them one by one. Let's do that. Let's make it inside of an array with the we can loop over again and again, and so we can use the split method for that. So let's write here const names, that is equal name dot split space. Now this will be an array, and now we can loop then using for of loop. Write for here in this for of loop, write const n of names. And so now here we will then capitalize the name. So for that we have to do the individual name. So for that let's write n of 0th element dot to uppercase then plus n dot slice of 1, which is letter number 0. Here the slice of 1 means it will start displaying from position 1 except the 0th position. Now we should push this into new array so that in the end we end up with a new array with the capitalized dot push. Now we are done with this, and then just log this into console. Console.log name suffer. Then here I am giving the space to join all those. Now let's see the result. Reload. See here we have all the names that are starting with the first letter capital. So we are done with this. We're changing the first letter to capital. Now here we also have another way of doing this. Basically doing the capitalization of one name. So before looking into that, place this in comments. Then write names per dot push. And now here this time we will push into the array here. Now here I am using the replace method, the write n dot replace, and we are already familiar with this replace method. Now here I am writing that n of 0th value. I want to replace this 0th value with of position 0 to uppercase. Here the replace method replaces the n of 0th element. That means the first character of the name that replaces to uppercase. Now let's see the result reload. You will get the same result. You can write any of these methods you want. You will get the same result. Now we are done with this. Let's talk about padding a string. Here padding a string means to add a number of characters to the string until the string has a certain desired length. Now let's write here padding. Let's write const. Let's write here message that is equal. Give that string go to gate 23. And then now console.log. I'm using here message dot. I'm giving here pad start. So we'll then add some characters to the beginning of the string. And the first argument here is the length that we want for the string. Let's say that we have 25 characters after the padding, and then the character that we want to pad with the string. Let's use plus. Then let's take a look here. Here we see the result. Now here why we write 25 means here the length of the entire string should be 25. So for that reason we have written this, and then plus remaining places will be replaced with the plus. Now if I don't want this plus, well, I need dot. So let's see. So we got dot here and then go to gate 23. Now I will show you that on a direct giving string console.log. Here I am giving the name Priya and then give here dot pad start. And then here I am giving 15. And then I need all the places of this. Now let's see the result. See here, I need 15, not 25. So let's see the result. So here, now the entire length of the string is 15 and the remaining places all are filled with this minus. And now here, you are getting that a question, why we are having all these at starting only. So basically we are giving this pad start. So that is the method we are giving the start. So that's why we are having all these on starting only before the string. And now if we want that in end of the string after the string, so that's why we have here pad end. So let's take it at this. Let's see an example copying, then paste. Here replace with pad end. Now let's see the result. See here same that we get after the string. And now if we want both start and end means just replace here dot pad end. Already we have 25. So here I am giving 30. Then give dot. And let's see. I'm giving here 35. Let's see the result. See here we have that before the string and then after the string also. Uh, Till here we have 25 pad start and then after that we have the pad end. Do the same for this also. Pad end giving 25. Let's see the result. We got this. So this is about the pad start and pad end. Now let's see a real world examples of a padding. So when you see a credit card number on the internet, you never see the entire number. So usually we see the last four digits and the rest is masked with some symbols. So implement a function that actually does the mismasking. Now let's write the const. I'm giving here a mask credit card and that is equal giving function that number a number and then the actual number. So let's start by converting this number to a string. For that, let's write const string. We learn how to convert number to a string in the fundamental section. That here we can simply take a number and then add it to a empty string. The result of this will be a number but as a string. But it will work because when one of the operands of the plus sign is a string, it will convert all the operands to a string. So then this number will also become a string. Let's call the function now mask credit card giving the number of card that is 67. For suppose this is the credit card number, giving another one also mask credit card. How long it will be no matter. And then on the internet, we only see that these four numbers, the rest of them all will be masked in a some symbol. Now what we have to do is to take out these four numbers and then use pad start to create a string with the same length and this initial number here, but with the some kind of symbol there. So let me just write the code here. Last equal. We are going to take last four characters of the string. Okay. Slice of. We are giving the negative parameters. Then return last. Add star string dot length. And the character I am going to use is star. Now let's log this into console. So dot log. Then here also. Now let's see the result. See here we got this. Here the last four digits are displayed and the rest of all are replaced with the star. So here actually we took the last four and then we added the rest of the string until it matched the original length of the string. Now after reaching the four digits, the length of the string all are replaced with this star. Now here we have another method that is repeat. Basically this repeat method allows us to repeat the same string multiple times. Now for example, let us say that we have a bad weather at some airport. So when it happens, they usually have those long messages on the screen, like with a text repeating, which keeps running and repeating all the time. So let's write that const message to that is equal bad weather Choose delayed. Now here we want to create a bigger string, repeating this one here multiple times. So for that, let's write here console.log. Simply write message to dot. Now write here the repeat method, and then here write the number of times we want to repeat it. Suppose I am giving here 5 times. So let's see the result. See here, we see that this message is displaying over and over again, repeating once again. Let's see here. Now let's see that we are getting repeating the same message over and over again. Or we can also simulate that due to bad weather, there are now many planes waiting in the line for takeoff. Now let's write a function for this. Const planes in line, that is equal function. Here I am giving n. Console.log use literals. There are given here in planes in line. Let's write an emoji here, that is plane. This one. And then now write. Here I want to repeat this. Repeating the planes. And then now call the function planes in line. Suppose I am giving here 5. And then again I am giving now 7. Then again I am giving. Here I am giving 12 times. Now let us see the result. Reload. See here we have there are 5 planes in line and then repeated 5 times and then 7 times and then 12 times, because we have given that the n value is 5. So that n value, there are 5 planes in a line and then we have the emoji and then we are repeating the emoji with 5 times. So that's why there are 5 planes in line and then 5 emojis. Now same for the 7 and 12 also. Now here we can also check these string methods here in this MDN string replace. So here when this here we have all these string methods. These we have completed with the pad start, pad end, repeat, replace all slice. Almost all completed. What are the important ones? Let's take a look this. And now this is all about the session. I hope that all of you now have a better clarity about all these methods. So with this we are completed the string methods. We'll continue in the next lecture. Thank you.